How can something as beautiful as this be dying? A plague is ruining the land, but the tree of life still stands. Question is, for how long? End is coming to the new world. The tribes stand divided, in need of someone strong enough to unite them, or bring them all down. This is a story with an unusual beginning. So, let's expect an unusual end. Welcome to Biomutant. Encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. 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 Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick your main color. Choose your detail. Pick your main color. Choose your detail. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Mercenary. Deadeye. Commando. Psy-Freak. Saboteur. Sentinel. Deadeye. Mercenary. Deadeye. Command. Saboteur. Mercenary. Saboteur. Deadeye. Mercenary. Deadeye. Commando. Psy-Freak. Saboteur. Sentinel. Deadeye. Mercenary. Mercenary chosen. Pick a... Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Choose your... Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Deadeye. Commando. Psy-Freak. Saboteur. Mercenary. Mercenary. Good choice. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that fork in the road. But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Let me introduce myself. I'm the light and bright side of you, or your inner voice to be precise, an echo of balance and consequence of your actions as you move forward.
That's right. Light is only for those having difficulty seeing what's in front of them. Sticking to the me first path is the only...
I'm surprised at the change of heart.
You can't fight...
You're trying to keep us in the dark here, but you know it's blue blood in our veins.
Right is always right. Stories of death and the bodies left behind, a reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger. Just so. Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the Tree of Life started to die. A challenge. Flash the slash. The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. Bites the dust. Pull. Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The Morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Ching! That's going to leave a mark. That hurt him. Time to see what's above. Don't slip. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and, without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right, but no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. The sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Chop, chop! Crit! Slice and dice! Chop it up! That's a good fight. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives.
Yowotolo Fabube Mok Kofar.
He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar.
Kabobe Farhi Kotuvon Ko Konvunkono.
He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up.
Tolu Keta Ya Wawanawe.
He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed.
Kabobe Farhi.
The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad.
Beboko Kontatolu Keta Ya Wawanawe.
The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past.
Beboko Kontabe Uluwoya Lu Yalubatuluyu.
It's a scar you're covering under that eye patch, isn't it? But he would have recognized you anyways. You look
Yuba Duluwawa Ugambun Ank Ugagad Yebromo Wufu.
There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the big...
Valu Alu Hero Tulua Lu Tuluka.
He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back.
Balu Putulua.
It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land.
Ba Lu Yualu.
After the old village was destroyed and
Miami Kuchai, Hifar Befarbe
had asks if you are tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Muma knows you are here. You're such a good child, so you probably did. Even the young forget. He understands why you came all the way out here. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here, fueling its source of life. You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with... The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He's... The Nono's key energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life. Only time will tell. At least his intention is to dedicate his life to it. He has the feeling the fate of the world depends on it. You'll need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow tall is with the burst of ki released from the Nono. You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The Nono are sensitive beings. You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of Nono out there that need to be guided to the roots of the pen. Oh, it'll need a continuous flux of ki over the 12 months to come, so... One day, he hopes the tree will have grown tall enough to sustain the world. But today, your focus is getting this one to become one with the tree. Now that you've seen the Nonno's connection with the tree with your own eyes, from this day on, he'll make nurturing the Pensai into a tree of life, a life goal. Not only... One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your Muma will be able to... You can already see the effects from how reckless those before us acted, and unless something changes, we're doomed. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. You did good here today. No, she's got lost. He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the tree of life, but now he's afraid the tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the World Eaters arrived. The genetic evolution that occurred after the apocalypse that Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land set... His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Noko has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Googlide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. There's one at the end of each. The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friends aren't strong enough. He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree isn't saved. His friends have prepared something specific for each World Eater. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eater. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Keep hauling yourself into the air. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the car. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never... He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the... He doesn't know what your connection is to this place. Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions. He's grateful for that.
Ah! That's a spark of light in you!
What's there to like about light?
Not as much as it hurts to look at you.
Always making this personal.
And you're always trying to pretend it's not.
There's Out of Date again. He must have missed something important. Out of Date says you will make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe and the myriad. Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out of Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side. He believes the tribe Sifus, Myriad especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part. He can sense you share Myriad's view on the world. The Myriad would embrace someone willing to fight against the tyranny of the Jagni. Out of Date will be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track of what you need to do. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded. Neutralized. cutting edge. This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Figures...
Sibi? La fanen aginkan man. Geratna fal hutut mustugai la wude.
The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort but he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. He heard you took out-of-date side against the scavengers in Bunker 101. It seems you believe in helping your next, and that's something you have in common. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. There were 6 of them, but the unity fell apart after Lupa Lupin attacked the old village. Soon after, they formed new tribes based on their own values, and when the Blight started, the Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Unrest is sweeping the land, and Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater... If you believe there's some good in everyone, there's still hope for tomorrow. You'll unite the tribes and defeat the World Eaters to save the Tree of Life. He was hoping you'd join them. You understand that there's no harm in doing good to others. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can unite the other tribes. The one you should coerce first is the Jagni tribe. The myriad were placed here to fulfill a certain purpose, chosen to unite the tribes and take control of their destiny. The tribes need a firm... Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have been forced to prepare for war. They might bring them war, but they'll never take away their inner peace. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. You both have gentle minds, so they want to wage a gentle war. A war that bonds as much as it breaks. Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Claim the rival outposts and earn the right to wield the tribe weapon. You were all part of the same tribe once, but without your Muma there as a guide, the disciples turned on each. Seeing you brings back his... Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the great... He remembers your kind and unselfish soul. Anyway, the memories you make with your family are strong and can sometimes come to life. Passing the old village on your way to the first rival outpost might help. Even though it's now a different place from a different time, it is a place that'll make... Glad to see you stopped keeping to yourself and are actually helping. Didn't have much else. Hates that you're wasting your time trying to improve things. Better to... That's interesting. Right in the face. Wham!